Hey guys, hello and welcome. I hope everyone's doing wonderfully. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. I just realized I'm wearing the exact same shirt as my last video. I guess that's good for continuity. But oops. Anyways, this here is a really underrated philodendron that I got. This is Philodendron Déjà Vu. Philodendron Déjà Vu is the botanical name. It's in the Araceae family, so it's an aroid. It has a tiny little spadix form white flower, but it's quite insignificant. Has these very lobed, interesting leaves. They're quite rippling, they have an undulating margin, and I think it's a super underrated plant. So this one here is quite juvenile still, so these lobes will become more crinkly, and with time they'll definitely become more pronounced. And yeah, isn't that beautiful, you guys? It has a mature height of about 4 feet, mature spread of a little bit under 4 feet, so it's a little bit more slender than, say, for example, the Philodendron Xanadu, which also has slightly thicker leaves. They tend to be a little bit thicker in the cuticle, and they tend to be slightly more lobed than this one. This is the Déjà Vu. This plant here is cold hardy to about 8 degrees Celsius. So you can grow it outdoors in the winter here, but I recommend bringing it indoors in the... Sorry, you can grow it outdoors in the summer. Highly recommend bringing it indoors in the winter if you live in a colder climate, because it will not survive the winter. They're very successfully clonally propagated via divisions. They grow these little pups on the sides. There's a pretty good example there. This is by no means really a trailing philodendron. It's more of a clumping one. Looks really good in a statement container. And it has this really nice sort of hook. I think that's a good identification feature right on the tips. So some problems that some people will get with specifically the Déjà Vu is over-fertilizing. It's incredibly susceptible to fertilizer burn. That's what these little marks are here. I accidentally overfed it last week. It likes to be kept very dry. So one thing I've also noticed is if you tend to really love aroids, if you have an extensive collection or even just a few monsteras and philodendrons, and they like to go a little bit dry, this one here takes that to a new level. It likes to go bone dry between waterings, almost to the point where it wilts. On some of the older varieties, you'll get a little bit of a purple slash, I almost want to say black or brown coloration here. And they're definitely more of a bright light requiring philodendron just from what I've seen. So these guys will grow at a decent pace in medium to moderate light, but if you have them right next to a south-facing window, maybe with some light curtains just to diffuse the light a little bit so it's not completely direct, they will grow a lot quicker for you. However, if you grow them in shade, don't expect them to do much. If you want to sort of stunt their size, make sure that they stay nice and compact. You can grow them in the shade because it almost completely stops their growth cycle. They almost go into kind of a dormancy. But definitely if you want to propagate them, use this as a mother plant, etc. Want to give them to your friends, whatever, definitely grow them in an area that is a lot brighter. If you are going to fertilize these guys, I recommend a 20-10-10 fertilizer. That's the one I use for this one. So I don't know if you guys saw my fertilizer video, but the first number is the N number and the NPK number, so that stands for nitrogen, which means that the fertilizer goes mainly to the leaves, because they have very insignificant flowers. So, another thing I want to say about these guys is they like to be divided when they're a little bit pot-bound. This one's not quite there yet, but you'll definitely notice that the pot will be quite thick. It'll be kind of heavy even when it's bone dry, and it'll be kind of hard. So that's when you know that it's time to repot, or obviously if there's lots of hairy roots coming out of the bottom. This is a wonderful companion plant to all sorts of other different types of aroids. I recommend if you have a large container or if you live in a more tropical area, this looks really wonderful at the entrance of a house. Sometimes they'll get a little bit of a silvery sheen on them too. There's also a dark form variety, I believe. And yeah. Oh, that's my neighbors. Oh, I hope everything's okay over there. But yeah, so this here is Déjà Vu. I got this on clearance for like literally 75% off. So just as I said before, I think it's definitely an underrated philodendron. Personally, I prefer this over the Philodendron Birkin. I think it just has so much more to offer in terms of texture. You can get them variegated too, but I just really like the original form. The variegated ones, especially on Etsy, I find are very overpriced. Definitely go for something a little bit more sought after with variegation, like maybe a Monstera, if you want to really add some variegation to your collection. But I don't endorse really or recommend getting the Déjà Vu variegata. It tends to get a little bit more crispy too. It tends to require a lot more light. But so this likes really good drainage too, as I kind of mentioned before, with I can't talk today, you guys. I really don't know what it is. Maybe I'm tired, but it likes to get very dry. No, I'm gonna stop talking. I hope you guys all have a really wonderful day. Stay blessed, be happy, be healthy. Thank you for being here. And yeah, I love you guys. See you till next time. Philodendron Déjà Vu.